All right. Hello, folks, and welcome to our introduction to a very special Let's Play. Because we're gonna play 1,000-year-old vampire. Gonna play this with Manaki, who here.
I am currently here.
Yes, awesome. We both like vampires. We both like tragedies. I think this is right up our alley. So, in this intro snippet, we're gonna try to just give a rough outline of what this is and what you can expect from it. 1,000-Year-Old Vampire is a journaling role-playing game where you take upon yourself to chronicle the unlife of a vampire over the many centuries of their existence, from when they were turned to their inevitable demise. The game is focused on narrative storytelling, creating a character and that character's journey through the ages as a monster and an outcast, presumably. And yeah, I have never played anything like this before. I don't think Manaki, you have either.
No, I mean the game is designed for solo play. By the way, if you're interested in finding it, you can simply look up the name
Yeah.
of your vampire, and you'll find a website where you can acquire the PDF, like we did.
Yep.
As for what it is, I have not done anything like this, but on the other hand, I do create a lot of stories, and I
Yeah.
figure this is in a way it's a writing tool
Yeah.
to help us create a story. It's
Yeah.
meant to be played solo, but I think we'll do just fine.
Yeah, we'll do just fine here, working together. It's interesting. So, okay, so with that out of the way, that short little intro out of the way, my idea now is to give the content warning that's on the page here that you hopefully everyone can see that I'm recording, because this is very prominent straight up here when you open up the PDF. While playing this game, you will encounter themes of death, selfishness, and predation. Your character may be injured, victimized, trapped, or killed. Your character will murder and victimize people of all sorts, possibly including children, animals, loved ones, marginalized people, or themselves. You might find yourself exploring themes of imperialism, colonialism, or oppression. Characters might engage in self harm or drug abuse. Illness, debilitation, and body horror may come into play. Your character may have their memories altered. They will certainly forget important things. Some of this will emerge from the prompts in the story. Some will emerge from the choices we make as players. This is a personal, challenging game for mature adults. Please play hard, but stay aware of yourself and your feelings. Some good thoughts about safety in solo games can be found later in the game. So, if you know for a fact that this is not your cup of tea, probably don't watch this.
The game states outright it's for mature adults. So if you're not a mature adult, um, just for your own safety. I mean, Jonas and I know each other pretty well, and we
Yeah.
can, I think, walk around many of the issues that might be here for us
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah.
But we don't know you, and so we cannot really take that into account. So please, if some of these things might be problematic for you, just skip it.
Yeah.
There's a
Skip
lot of
it.
other things to watch.
Oh, for sure. With that said, we don't know either what's in this book since none of us have played it. We've only read the rule sections. I've not looked at any of the prompts. There might be stuff in here that we are certainly not ready for, and that's sort of the point. Like, this is a challenge, right?
Yeah.
And I am interested in seeing where it goes. The idea of the tragic vampire and the outcast monster is interesting, and as we talked a little bit before we started this recording, this is not Vampire the Masquerade. That would be more akin to Anne Rice's Interview with the Vampire, more of a lone wolf, just degenerate monster, I guess.
a person experiencing a life that is far longer than it should be.
Yeah. All right. So, with all of this said, how do you play it? Well, I thought to give just an overview here in the intro, like how you actually play this. So, as you can see on the left side of the screen here, we have a character sheet. Because our character will have different characteristics. They might have skills. These are things they're good at, or noteworthy things. The skills can be pretty much anything. It can be poetic things like I never blink out the sand of my eyes. That's poetic. It can mean many different things, or it can be really good sword fighter. It depends sort of on the prompts and on the character we're going to try to create here. Resources. These can be anything from a coin to a battle chip. Everything you own that is significant to you or the story is a resource. It doesn't matter how big or small. Characters. These are characters that you get to know over the story. There are mortals, and there are immortal characters. Mortal characters are normal humans, and they are transient. As the passage of time goes on in this game, mortals will come and go because they just die of old age, and we live forever. So you can also run into immortals, like the vampire who turned you. That is one of the immortal contacts you start with, at least. There might be others down the line. But there isn't, when the game talks about the world a little bit, they say that this is not a world of complex political intrigue between factions of immortals or anything like that. So it's not the Camarilla or the Sabbat or anything. It's more this gothic horror, dark fairy horror stuff. You know what I mean? Cackling witch in the woods or a ghost or something like that. Marks are usually things that set you aside as a monster or something supernatural, something that has scarred your character and that you usually try to hide in some way, or it's the scars of your unlife that you carry with you, as far as I understand.
What makes you not human?
Yeah, what makes you not human?
If you think of Vampire the Masquerade, most clans have something specific about them. Their reflection in the mirror
Yeah.
is not shown.
Yeah.
They're absolutely hideous.
Yes.
Things like that
Monstrous.
that would be that set you apart and
Yeah.
that you would try to hide because otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some sort of trouble out there if you don't.
These are the four basic characteristics we have, and they will come and go as we play. Some prompts and happenings might cause us to have to strike a skill or check a resource or something like that. So this will come and go, and we'll see how it goes. Basically, I have no idea again how this will be in replay, but it should be interesting to see.
Beyond
Then,
that, skills and resources together also function as our effective lifespan or health.
Yeah.
The more we have, the more abilities we have to deal with bad situations.
Yeah.
And as we lose them, we will get closer and closer to final death.
Yeah.
If we ever run out of both, then our story will be over.
Yeah. So that is our inevitable destruction at the end of this. Yeah. Apart from this, we have memories. Now, memories are what makes up the story and the journal, so to speak. Prompts, events that we come across form experiences. When we have three experiences that we can clearly see belong together, they form a memory. And memories are it basically is the recorded history, what you have with you, what your vampire can retain as the years grind on here. We can only hold 5 memories in our head. After that, we start
The
forgetting.
human limit of how much experience we can possibly remember.
Yeah. If we come across an event, they usually trigger an experience. Our job then is to try to find if we have any of these like 5 slots where that experience would fit in a good like smooth way to form a story or add to the story of that prompt. If we cannot find a good fit for it, we have to strike one out and make place for a new experience. So we might end up in a situation where we have like 3-4 memories, and we get new experience, and we simply don't have room anymore. So we have to cross out an entire memory from it, so losing like 3 experiences.
This reflects the character sort of living beyond the human span and
Yeah.
experiencing things and forgetting things. Once something is struck from our memories, if it is not placed in a diary, um, it is gone,
Yeah.
and we can no longer refer to it. Our character doesn't remember that it happened.
However, when that happens, we are asked to put it in like the prompt section or like at the back of the book, so to speak, so you can look back on your character's journal later, because it might be fun for posterity to look back. Not that the character will remember, but we as players might look back and remember, forming the journal, as it were.
Yeah. And that is really what we're going to be producing. The
Yeah.
actual game experience is us finding prompts, then sometimes using skills or resources to overcome challenges for our character, and then recording the experiences in our memory.
Yep. That is exactly right. So there isn't too much dice rolling in the game, but there is some. When we have resolved a new prompt, we roll dice to determine where we go next or what happens next. This dice is a D10 minus a D6. I have a dice roller up here, so I'll throw here for example. So yeah, I created. Yeah, you're in the room. I see. So I rolled a 6 on the D10 and a 4 on the D6. 6 minus 4 would be 2, which means that we would go 2 prompts forward in the book.
Yes.
And as we move forward in the prompts, the book recommends that around 6 to 8, maybe 10 prompts are roughly a century. After that, all of our human contacts are dead. Like after that, like roughly a century has gone, and most of our mortal characters would have passed on.
It can also happen that we roll the opposite way, and might get indeed here, for example, a 6 and a 4 of the D10. Then we have 4 minus 6, which gives us a -2, which means we move backwards in the prompt.
Yep.
If we get the same prompt or a 0, then we simply do that prompt again. Many prompts will have, the game tells us, I trusted on that, advancing storylines as if we hit them multiple times.
Yep. So that is really how the play works. We are also asked to record experiences in a certain way. This isn't set in stone, of course. We can record it however we want, but the book recommends that we use a description of the event and then how we feel how we feel about that event or what we did about it, like our actions. This should ideally be in one sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah, as Manaki said, we might end up that we have 5 memories that we want to keep, for example, or just one memory that we especially want to keep. Then we can move that to a diary. We can have one diary, and a diary is a physical object, and it's added as a resource to our character. If the diary is destroyed or lost, everything in the diary gets just stricken out, and your vampire forgets about it. You only remember it as long as you have the diary. And the diary can contain 4 memories.
You can have one diary.
Yep. Only one diary.
You want to put the really important stuff.
Oh, yes. So, just go and look in here. So, the book explaining skills here explains this. A skill is what they indicate what your vampire can do and what they might do. So, for example, things you can do: sword play, operate heavy machinery, or what you might do, such as relaxing banter, or like blood and rage, or something like that, you know? And some prompts will ask us to check a skill. And if we do so, we just put like an X or something next to the skill, I think, to just mark it as checked. Checked skills can be used to flavor answers to later prompts. Yeah, so and as it says, unchecked skills are what your vampire is capable of. Checked skills are what they have done. Yeah. And it says you might have skills you don't want to check. If you have rage and kill, for example, you might not want to check that as the first thing you do when you see, a helpless child on the road or something. But at some point, it might be the only one you have. So we'll see. We'll see how it shakes out. It is a bit loose and unfocused as an introduction here because simply we don't know exactly how to play it. But that's what we're here to find out.
Because we've never done it before now.
So yeah, I think that is it for the intro of the game. We'll pause the recording here. And when we come back, we will be on episode 1 of 1,000 Year Vampire. See you there.